Hey, welcome to another episode on Your Mind podcast, the podcast where we do talk about elevating ourselves spiritually, physically, emotionally, mentally, just all the great things. We always try to be our best than we were yesterday. Welcome back. And I'm excited for episode 9 today. I do try to make all my episodes kind of resonate with my current life of events. And I love this one so much just because I wish someone would have told me this when I was younger. And also just I tried to implement this with my younger siblings currently. So I really like this. And for today's episode, we're going to be talking about owning the room and just kind of being unapologetically yourself and also never dimming your light. I know I have a few stories with this and we live and we learn, but that's what we're going to do for today. So before we do get into this episode, we are going to cue the intro music. All right, so I don't know if you guys have ever walked into a room and you just kind of feel like you're questioning yourself, like, is this too much? Do I look good? Does this outfit fit well? Is my makeup well? Or just different questions of that sort. I know I am guilty with that. I am raising my hand. There's been multiple times, especially with like influencer events or just big gatherings in general, where I have questioned myself before I even got there and while I am in the room. And whenever I had this mindset, I felt very weak and I could definitely feel like I just wanted external validations and I cared about what other people thought and different things like that. So I remember this one time, it was an influencer event, and these can be overwhelming just because you're meeting so many new faces all the time. Yes, you have the ones that you see all the time, but also, you kind of start scouting the room and meet new people and all that stuff. I would find myself when it came to these events, like questioning my outfits. I love anything that stands out. I love a good statement piece, as I've mentioned in the past. And I just, I express myself with fashion, and that's why I love fashion so much. But I would always find myself questioning myself of, is this too much? And I really do want to emphasize on too much, just because this could be not even just the way you dress, but even the way you are, the way you feel. Like, am I feeling too much? Is this what I said too much? And we tend to question ourselves. Like, yes, it is important to be self-aware, but at the same time, just kind of questioning yourself in this aspect can really lower your vibrations. And yeah, I'm guilty of it, and I would find myself doing this. Of course, I would give myself the pep talk of, you just wear what you want, this is what you feel most confident in, but I would still go into the room not vibrating at my highest. Although I would try, and I may fake it, I would still try to. I recall this one influencer event, someone came up to me and she just started talking to me. And meanwhile, I could see she was just kind of rating me from like the top to the bottom, like my earrings, my jewelry, my outfit, my shoes. And as she was scanning me and I was talking to her, I started feeling in my head of, oh my gosh, should I go to the restroom? Should I go take off my necklace? Is it too much? Like, I should have known this dress is just a little too extra. And I really just started dimming my light. And it's because I just never want to come across as I think I'm all that, or that I want to own the room, or things like that. That was just kind of my mindset back then. And I never want to come off as intimidating. So that was just my mindset. And I noticed I would shrink myself so many times for other people just for them to be the star of the show in the room. So, of course, nothing's bad with sitting back and letting people have their limelight. That is not what I'm talking about here. But just more so, I do want you to walk into the room and feel your energy and just simply feel your best. And I don't want this to be in a confident type of way, but I want this to be more so of an understanding and embracing your worth despite how people perceive you. But of course, in a more grounded of your self-worth. I feel like there's definitely a difference between arrogance and then just being grounded in your self-worth, and how those two energies radiate so different. So there was a time where I felt kind of judged, and a pushback was I went to a party, and just to kind of give clarification and set the tone, it was filled with a lot of people who, were into designer and just kind of very luxury type of mindset, which is nothing wrong because I do like me some designer from time to time. But then there goes me with my thrifted outfit. I love to thrift a lot of my statement pieces just because I feel like they don't make a lot of statement pieces like they did back in your vintage and things like that. And a lot of women were giving me compliments in regards to my outfit, like, oh my gosh, so cute. And I would say, thank you, it's thrifted. And they would look at me like, oh, okay. And I was honestly proud, like, hey, this is $3, And I felt so judged. And every time I would say, like, it's thrifted, I had someone tell me, like, I don't think you should be telling people that you thrift your clothes. I personally would not. And I remember I felt very pushed back and judged, where I was like, whoa, like, to me, you don't have to wear designer in order to be up here. And I was just very pushed back by it, where I'm like, am I being told that I should never mention I thrift my clothes? Like, I'm not ashamed of that. And that just kind of made me feel so off for the rest of the night. And my light was dimmed. Although my outfit was so magnificent, my light was dimmed because of that, because I cared about the validation of other people instead of me really just owning the room and embracing myself. And that's when I realized that day that self-acceptance has to start with you first before you manifest it into the room that you're walking into. You have to believe it in here. Yes, I'm pointing at my brain. You have to believe it in there before you're able to flourish into the room you're walking in. And we're going to stop wanting external validations. You are validating yourself. We're not putting our self-worth in other people's hands because they don't know your story. They don't know what you've been through. So for someone else to tell me who I should be is crazy to me, because personally now I don't need anyone's validations because I love myself. I know who exactly I am becoming and who I want to be. And that's just where you kind of sit with yourself and realize that it only matters what you think about yourself at the end of the day. One of the reasons I really stopped caring about what people really think about me was when I realized that people will project onto you their insecurities. So an instance with this was, I recall someone telling me one time how I think I'm all that just because I take fitness so serious when it's not that serious and things like that. When I'm like, whoa, I don't think I'm all that. I just try to promote health to anyone because that's so important and crucial in life. Like, I don't know where this is coming from. But then I realized this was stemming from an insecurity of theirs. And now they try to implement fitness into their life to help with that insecurity. And this is when I realized people will project onto you their insecurities because it doesn't really have to do with you in particular. It has to do more about them. And once I placed that in my mind, I then realized my reality and how you can't depend on other people for how they perceive you or actually have an ounce of care of really how that looks like, because at the end of the day, everyone's mindset is just so different, whether they have different beliefs, whether they, project their insecurities onto you. Only you will be the realist of who you want to be. So that concludes today's episode for today. And I truly hope after you listen to this, you are feeling enlightened and just feeling the embracement of wanting to be the most authentic version of yourself. Like, own it. I am here for it. I'm here to push you with that. That's the message I definitely want to relay. But thank you guys so much. I truly do appreciate every single one of you and your feedback and your love. It truly means all so much to me. And don't forget that my inboxes are always open if anyone ever wants to talk, or you can simply comment down below as well. But other than that, you guys, thank you so much. I will see you guys next Tuesday. Don't forget to stay mindful. I'll see you next time. Bye.